It's altcoin season, it's especially meme coin season, and it's AI coin season. And so of course, Grok has to naturally go up with this. But is this actually a natural rally? Let's have a look at the on-chain data most people aren't looking at. Let's have a look at how many retail investors there are in the token and how many whales there are in the token, and then derive how popular the token actually is. Now here's the rally I'm talking about. We're up 27% just today. We almost doubled this week, and we more than 7x'd this month alone. But times haven't always been that nice for Grok. We saw a nice pump, then a subsequent dump. Now we are very close to all-time highs again. Does it make sense to take some profit? Let's dive deeper. I made a video on Grok not so long ago. It was on February 15th. That was when the price was still at 0.5 cents. Now we are at 2.3 cents. So if this is your very first time you hear about Grok, maybe consider following channels like this and be early next time. Now let's start with the on-chain data. So apparently Grok has 18,000 holders on-chain on Ethereum. But here's the problem with that number. Even somebody that just has residuals from a swap left, just a few cents of the token is being counted here. Let's look at this with minimum holding thresholds. That's what we get with this tool. I've developed this tool myself. I make it available to the premium members. Link is down below, thebitcoinstrader.com. On the left, we see the retail wallets. On the right, we see the whales. So on the left side, we see the number of wallets that have at least 50,000 Grok tokens. So at the current price, that's a bit over $1,000. In the middle, we've got medium-sized retail. That's now roughly $10,000 worth of the token. On the right side, another 10x. That's now $100,000 worth of the token. This is what I'd consider the whale wallets. Now, isn't that interesting? A lot of buying in the very early days, then retail stopped buying, medium-sized retail started selling, and the whales sold the most. Now, those are the long-term charts starting in November of last year. But really, we want to know what's going on in the last month, because here we more than 7x'd. Here are the exact same charts, but only for the last month. So we don't look at this long term, we just look at the last month. Same kind of thresholds, and yes, we do see slight accumulation by retail. So the number of retail investors grew by roughly 10%. We've got similar growth for medium-sized retail, and again, similar growth for the whales. So all wallet cohorts are pretty much accumulating at the same pace. The number of those wallets went up by 10% in the last month. But here's the problem. This is a 10% increase in the number of investors. The price did not just increase by 10%. So something is smelly over here, and I do believe I have the answer who might be manipulating the price here. Have a look at the largest holders of the Grok token. MaxC owns 15% of the supply. Gate.io owns 10%. We've also got ownership by BitGet, another wallet by MaxC. So there's clearly a lot of involvement by the centralized exchanges. Now here's the MaxC wallet over time. So not necessarily a lot of change. Not sure how much they are moving the price. But have a look at this. This is Gate.io, and they massively accumulated in December of last year. And on-chain in December of last year, we didn't see much, right? There was no accumulation whatsoever. But Gate.io did get tokens. If they bought this directly on-chain or if they got this allocated by the developer team, I don't know. I simply see a lot of tokens owned by them. And I've got my very strong doubts that this is simply just custodied funds. This is probably not just tokens being held in the name of the customers. This is directly on the book of the centralized exchange. And so that then also explains the trading volume. Even though MaxC has way more tokens than Gate.io, the trading volume on Gate.io is much larger. So it appears that the leading orders are coming from the centralized exchange. Other centralized exchanges simply get pulled over as well because there's arbitrage bots that try to balance out the prices. But if most trading volume happens on a centralized exchange that actually doesn't own most of the tokens, and at the same time it's a centralized exchanges that got the tokens back in the bear market, did not influence the price, and the holders didn't do much, the number of holders didn't increase, then call me a conspiracy theorist, but I don't really buy into that rally. I think it's very dangerous to buy into this, but of course we never know how long the manipulation might last. I personally simply prefer tokens that are more organically driven, that are not just driven by a few key players. If you found this useful, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. This tool is accessible to the premium members. And if you've got Telegram, feel free to join us. Link is down below.